I hope that you enjoyed this essay that I took some minutes to write, but I'm thinking about it a long time ago. I define myself, my actuation in this society, um, to be an philosopher-artist because I I am a graduated philosopher, but I am I express myself through art. So I sing, I write, I draw, and I I am thinking about a lot of things. I have so many labels in my mind open at the same time while I'm doing my laundry or doing the dishes or cleaning my house or playing with my kids or take a bath, and I'm so proud of myself to be courage, to have the courage enough to stay here in front of this camera and putting my words through the internet in English because I'm a Brazilian. I don't have fluence enough, not in my ideal, to speaking. So I am here and I hope that my words spread good thoughts and people around the world. And if you can listen, because I'm putting in text because I know that people that don't listen, and I want these words came to all the people, reach all the people, as there are listeners and non-listeners. So please stay with me and spread my words away if it makes sense to you. Okay? The name of this day is time, the time of the things and the time of humans, of the why of the whys. Impressively, we are experiencing an escalation of exhibitions in the USA where apparently one card after another will fall into a house of cards that seems to be old from what they say. People we never imagined. I'm talking about this. My lack of information due to living in another country and experiencing the collective dramas of Brazil, even though to a certain extent they are very similar because they are also economic, political, and ethical. I, I forgot ethical part. But based on many observations and reflections, I ask myself, why is all this coming to light only now? Why is this only now being true to defend living people feeling an endless range of very troubled and disturbing emotions? The intentions behind the actions. When we observe history in fact, and not the history told in books by the victors and the colonizers of our bodies and our minds, because yes, the minds of our ancestors were colonized to be content with as little as possible, and think that the rulers are true leaders and they are saving them for something. But this subject covers many layers and we will leave it aside for now. Going back, when we observe history in practice, in real life, we realize that scandals serve something bigger. Each one is a smoke screen to hide something else that is occurring or to distract people from what is most important at the moment, right? The open method, the modus operandi of the world of man, because it has been this like this for the last millennium. But we can mention the last centuries in which this escalation has been accentuated, is to do something to get something else, aiming for what? Power, money, sex. This is how planet Earth has been managed in general. And unfortunately, it is said that is in the name of God and that He has something to do with all this nonsense. But here is it. It is free will, right? Leave God out of the games your boys haven't been playing while massacring places, people, affectionable memories, history itself, families, marriage, love, women, children, and their innocence and purity. God wants a world united in favor of love and unity, beyond its polarizations and dualities. What we can expect from what's happening. While men seek to satisfy their desires based on a primitive and immature place, using and abusing those they meet along the way, objectifying people so that they consider themselves merchandise and manipulating their minds so that they feel small and useless, fragile and fail, broken and sick people, thus allowing themselves to be bought by those who pay the most in any area of life, personal, emotional, professional, spiritual, while they manipulated people's minds so that they feel dominated by desires for fame, power, fortune, and incite them to literally commit crazy things for views and likes, while people are left to fend for themselves. The circus is active to distract and entertain. What we hungry for? What do we really need anyway? Of luxury five-bedroom houses, of luxury imported cars, of expensive watches on your wrist, of champagne available, of designer clothes, of handbags worth millions, of jewels and diamonds, or do we need clean air and clean water to drink and fertile land to produce our food with minimal toxic products in our bodies? We still don't even know the effect this will have on the next generations if we get there. Do we need to collect expensive objects, turning our home into luxurious museum? Or do we need to collect meaningful moments with the people we love and who we are forced to stay away from because we live to survive and work dreaming of the future? Future for whom? What's the point of having all these things if we don't enjoy life? If we don't savor existence and let ourselves to be swallowed by anxiety and frustration, why aren't we rich yet? Rich of what if we already millionaires? Yes, millionaires. How much would it cost to buy sorry, a healthy, lucid, and full life human body? There is no way to pay the sum incalculable. We wake up and sleep surrounded by this wealth and only observe misery and disease around us. We were directed to this. We were colonized to this. We were indoctrinated to this, to be subservient to leaders who do not put us first but last. They play war and do dark things in their nations, and we pay the bill by dealing with an entire planet collapsing. Now is now. We all have today to change the situation. The time is now. Either we start to see things as they really have been so we can come together and make better choices for the future, or it won't even exist. And what are you saving money for anyway? If we stand aside, we, we will end up dealing with the consequence that haven't been knocking on the door since the 70s. And the circus continues to thrive with its clowns bringing joy to the crowd and encouraging addictions and compulsions, consumerism and objectification, subservience and exploitation. The modus operandi of the world of man has massacred bodies and souls until now. But today we still have the last minute of the second half football, right? You know, to do something about it and save what is still possible for the planet and future generations to exist. Between talk and action. In the world of man, we have many scientific studies being misinterpreted and use it to gain more money and power until now. We have news that involves its viewers in a mixed range of pain, panic, and fury until now. We have advertisements, sometimes misleading, that affect our emotions to make us consume, don't know, right, using neuroscience and emotional needs until now. We have children being massacred in the uses and abuses of such law and order until now. We have corrupt politicians pretending to be good guys to gain votes and winning elections until now. We have women in vulnerable situations because this way they are more easily variable and manipulated until now. But what now? What are we going to do? Awareness is the first step. Now that we realize all this, now that we understand the game, now that we are aware of schemes, now we can act. Only from consciousness is there real action, and can there be a real freedom and happiness. They lie to us because they wanted our bodies docile, our minds receptive to any type of brainwashing. In other words, pain. Our precious time, our creativity and inventiveness, our votes and the sweat of our service, our money. But at what price? They even profited our souls and even promised land in heaven, you see. But now we see ourselves. And once you wake up, is there no going back? But there don't need to be revolt, just better choice. Action based on love. As long as we remain in anger, in hurt, in guilt, in shame, in apathy, in panic, in despair, they keep winning. They who, whatever, the masks will fall off one by one over time. It is through connecting with the great cosmic consciousness, with the divine, with God, in whatever name we have been given, and as your own spiritual being that will make the choices that will manifest the new earth. Our choices and our actions need to be based on love. Otherwise, we will continue waging war, and again, this phrase, an eye for an eye, and humanity will end up blind, will become real. And Martin Luther King's dream will never become real. We need to distance ourselves from chaos to find peace, but it happens inside each one to be out there, really. Hope calls for actions. Hope cannot be the measure. We need effective actions and sustainable choices, sustainably at a whole, globally, and many layers that I cannot talk about now. Beings need to be in foreground rather than profit. Money will no longer be our God and will no longer control our choices. That's how they consumed us for centuries, right? So, our relationship with the economy needs to change. Our relationship with ourselves needs to change. Our beliefs need to change. Our relationship with the planet, the environment, animals, life on earth needs to change. Our relationship with the divine and with God needs to change. And change is good for everyone and not for some as it has been for a long time. Well, I I could speak here for hours, but I think that to be short is the best for giving all these information at the same time. But I can came here again in English if you like, if you share, if you comment, if you let me know how all this was for you. Okay, I hope that God bless you, that you and your beloved ones are protected by God and for the angels. I believe in so many things, but I believe in the love, and love is a place that we can go and stay forever, and we can live in this love now. But we need to see all these things and make a choice. Okay, big hug. Bye bye.